Well, it's finally here. Season 1 of New World is coming tomorrow. For reals this time, no delays. Let me show you what we got. So this one is important because it actually tells us when it's coming. The downtime UK time is going to be 1 PM in the afternoon. This is on the 4th of April and it's going to last about 2 hours. So for you Americans, basically you'll mostly wake up and it'll be ready. Obviously after the delays and things like that, that's very good to see. It also means that the leaderboard will finally end and people will be happy. But let's go through just briefly the main things in this. It is of course very long, so I'm not going to go through absolutely everything here because this video would be 3 hours long. And at some point I actually need to go to bed. So the first thing on this spotlight is obviously the season pass reward track. We know it's going to be about 20,000 marks of fortune for the premium one, and there is of course the free version as well. Here they talk about what you can earn and how you earn it. The main ways really are going to be the journey tasks and the challenges, by the way, including the activity card. The rest of this, I mean, you'll get them as you go, but really those two things will be how you do the most of your XP, but you can get XP doing the following. Interesting though is that you get XP from doing quests and additional XP earning activities. Alright, cool. If you've not seen this, it's pretty fun. There's loads of videos out there, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much. The next thing to talk about is the combat balance changes. There's so much here that it's really hard for me to say what is going on, but I will just summarize because they've basically got it in key points, right? So one of the main things they're doing is changing the magic and ranged weapon PvE viability. They're doing this to enable you to be using these weapons in mutations. So Bane has been buffed, mutations now no longer negatively impact elemental users, and you can tank in a few different ways. Weapon balance for PvP is completely changed. I'm not really going to dwell on it here, but big changes. And part of that includes the fact that the equip load balance changes have been made. The random 45 ones, they're the big ones. Basically 45 less powerful on light armor, and either the same or more powerful on heavy. I can't remember off the top of my head. Not sure what they mean with the PvP mitigation formula. I'm not sure what the goal is there, but yeah, okay. There is of course the new seasonal story. Not going to take you too long to do that, maybe a couple of hours, but it's worth it. It's actually quite good, right? Gear set storage, that's very important. You get 2 free slots. You can get a slot from the season pass as well, but you will be able to buy them. We don't know how many marks of fortune as of right now. There's a new heart rune ability that comes in the new expedition, the Empyrean Forge, which is what they talk about next. It's level 60 plus, it's in Great Cleave, it's just to the right of Cleave's Point, I think. The Brightwood and Weaver's Fen main story quests have been updated. I haven't personally checked that out, but I have seen a lot of people say it's actually quite good. The towns themselves still remain unchanged. Personally, not done these level 40 weapon things, so I don't really know too much about them. Just to reiterate here, there are quite a lot of changes that I'm not really going to go over. For example, these combat changes, I'm just not going to talk about every single one. A lot of weapons have been changed, and there may be changes from the last PTR version that I simply don't know, right? But I'm not going to read this all now. That's not really the purpose of this video, and honestly, I'm not sure I would necessarily understand what the implications were, but you can see there are quite a lot of changes that I'm just flat out ignoring, right? So if you want to be in detail, people probably do breaking down videos, but you can obviously go ahead and read it yourself. I will leave a link in the description below. A couple of important changes to war for the people who do that. Target dummies in the wars now can no longer be attacked during the war. Basically, people were farming up the heart rune abilities and they don't want you to do that. And defenders can now select the spawn points inside the fort. So that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out in the war meta. Obviously, I don't really know too much about that right now. Invasion rewards have been buffed, and that's pretty important because I believe that this can now be upgraded from from epic to legendary. So that should be very good, and you also get more humble shards, territory standing, coin, and faction tokens. So all good stuff there if you're doing invasions. Now, there's a whole section here dedicated to territory control. It's probably not as impactful to most of you as it might appear. Basically, some of the percentage that is just going to go away is going up, but they're making the cost of keeping your towns cheaper. Now, the reason they're doing that is because on low population servers, some towns were not making any profit, so they're going to make it so that they literally don't cost anything to maintain and they'll still get some of the gold. It's actually a good change, it's just a bit weird to explain. And this is what I was talking about with the humble shard changes. basically now if you upgrade a weapon or if you upgrade these items here from epic, they will now go legendary and have a random perk basically assigned to it. That's really good. The main one that a lot of people are going to be into is the Russia armor and trinkets from Outpost Rush. Yes, that does sound like I'm saying the country, but that's not intended. The Conqueror's weapons were always able to do that, I think, or not always, but for a long time. That also applies to war items and invasion items, so that's pretty good and pretty important, right? And very, very importantly, they've now added eggs to the Supreme Omelette recipe. So you now actually need eggs to make an omelette. I mean, who'd have thought that? This is one that I'd sort of forgot about completely, is that they've added the ability for golden scarabs to be used in tools and bags. That's going to make making them a lot easier, basically. Very importantly, the first craft XP bonus has been increased from 2 times to 3 times. So right now, tonight is your last chance of you doing your 2 times, because it is going to reset. So you would in theory be able to get 2 times and then 3 times. This is one that I would actually like to test out. Basically, they've exponentially increased the experience gained per player in a group performance. I might need to get me some band going so I can actually level that up. And really, that's all I want to cover for now, right? As I said, there's so much here. Like, the meta for PvP is absolutely going to be completely changed. And, you know, I didn't really talk too much about the Empyrean Forge, the new expedition. We spoke about flame cores. There's quite a lot you would need to know. It's not something I'm going to be able to just like divulge in this video. If you want to check out what you should be doing first when you actually get into the patch, I do have a video for that, so please go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, big shout out to my YouTube members and Patreons, and I will be streaming quite a lot this week, so you want to check me out over on Twitch as well, please do so. As I said, there's so much to cover. I'm sorry if I didn't cover everything you wanted to know, but I would literally be here for several hours, I think, to cover everything in this patch. It's a big one, and it's coming tomorrow. What you should definitely do though is have a most beautiful day, like and subscribe. Goodbye.